Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Tonight we have a couple interesting guests. I would call them avid waterfowlers with goals to go a little bit further with big game. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're on our way to being more big game hunters. My son definitely wants to do more of it.
Yeah. So we have Daryl Oliver and his son Ron.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk hunting, how to get into it, try to inspire people to get out and chase some waterfowl, and talk about some programs that you work within and organizations that you help, and why you would take on extracurricular work. Anyways, tell us a little about Daryl and Ron. Who wants to start?
Well, like you said, my name is Daryl. I loved waterfowl. I've been doing it for a long, long time. I shot a few deer here and there as well, and a bear and some big game. And then to feed that obsession and addiction, I have a day job, of course. I work in the manufacturing sector. And now I've got my best hunting partner in the world, who's no longer just a sidekick. He's now hunting as well, as my son, Ron.
How's that, Ron? Is it good to get out with Dad?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we do get on each other's nerves once in a while, but no, it's great. It's great to be in the outdoors. I absolutely love it. Everything from camping to hunting to fishing. The outdoors is one of my happy places. I love, no matter what we're doing, I love to be in the outdoors. Yeah, just in general, I love the outdoors so much.
It's funny I say that is the outdoors is how we define quality in life.
Absolutely.
It's therapeutic. Absolutely. It's like Ron says, whether we're hunting or fishing or camping, summer or winter, there's something about taking a deep breath and
it's peaceful and calming.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we just came through a turbulent time with a world pandemic, and we found out that people gravitated back to the outdoors when they were given the opportunity. Didn't have to be at work every day, weren't stuck in the rat race or running kids to soccer practice, ballet, dance, or whatever else they're doing. Hunting and fishing license sales went through the roof.
It skyrocketed, that's right.
You couldn't get a campground or a campsite in Alberta.
You couldn't find a used trailer.
Right.
I don't Without know looking really hard.
Yeah,
Without looking really hard.
So it's interesting that, that passion is there for a lot of people, and it's just some people allow the cream to float to the top and get out and enjoy it more often than others.
Absolutely.
Well, it sure beats school, that's for sure.
Man, you're not holding back at all, are you?
Oh, no, I am not.
Well, school can take you places too.
Yeah, it can definitely take you places.
I've been writing now for almost 38 years, and I tell people, if you could find my high school English teacher and tell her I was a journalist, you'd have to pick her up off the floor. She'd be laughing so hard.
It wasn't what she expected, I take it then.
No, she probably thinks that I still can't spell or write or anything. Yeah, so right. It's just a matter of when you apply yourself in life and to what in terms of finding your own rewards.
Absolutely. And what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Right. And taking that forward.
Well, we could be in the truck on a long drive, and it could be boring as heck to drive, but it's better than sitting in social studies, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Ron, how long have you been hunting?
Since I was 12. I shot my first deer when I was 12, and the same year I shot my first goose. It was a very, very amazing moment for me. It was almost life-changing in a sense of knowing, hey, I've done this. knowing that I am a part of a new community of people who have the same interests and who have done the same things as I have, right?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I've taken a lot of first-time hunters out over the years, and people would come along, they showed interest, and they'd come and participate. But when they got to actually do it themselves, it was life-changing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They weren't just the egg in terms of bacon and eggs. They were fully committed like the pig and the bacon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And getting to watch people experience that is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still have the passion, or is it continuing to grow?
No, I think I will always have a passion for it. It is something that, for me anyways, I don't think will ever go away. For the passion of hunting and the outdoors, it is something that will always resonate with me.
I see that Ron gets excited when we talk about a new species. You know, we've shot lots of ducks, we've shot lots of geese, he shot speckled bellies, different species of geese, and now we've got other species we're talking about. We're talking about bears and things like that, and you could see that his passion increases.
About to grow.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. As these new species come on board, I go, "Hey, Ron, you want to go bear hunting?" Yes, I do.
Yeah, the first thing I always say is yes. That's what I go by. Yes.
It's easy to figure out what the answer is.
Oh, absolutely.
Daryl, how did you get into hunting?
Well, I grew up in a rural Alberta town. I grew up in Camrose. And oddly enough, my dad was a hunter from what I understand, but before I was born, my sisters tell me stories, my older sisters. And then when I came around, he kind of gave it up. But growing up in that rural community, all my high school friends, and they're all farm kids. And they all shot on their farms, and we all hung out together. And so it was very easy to become part of. At that point in time, you could take hunter's ed in school.
Right.
And so
I'm very jealous of that, by the way.
he had to do his online.
Unfortunately.
But it was natural to be part of the community. And so it was just kind of, something you did on the weekends. Everybody did it, some form or another. And, there was always archery guys and rifle guys and goose hunters. There's always something going on.
It's a pretty active community and lots of opportunity right on the doorstep. The Battle River is just south of town. You got Miquelon Park north, and lots of diversity with the parkland habitats and conservation sites close by. So it would be a great place to grow up and get introduced to the outdoors.
Absolutely. Growing up in a small rural community, Camrose is a thriving metropolis now.
It really is.
Compared to what it was when I was there. But being there allowed me to be part of all these opportunities.
Yeah. So it came natural. Ron, you probably just were along as a kid, went with Dad out duck hunting and setting up decoys, retrieving birds.
Oh, yeah, I've always had an interest since watching my dad cut up a deer in the garage, and always wondering, where did that come from? Where did you go? I always having questions to it, right? And always wanting to find the answers.
Yeah,
the inquiring mind.
That's right. But, there were a couple of times when 4 o'clock was around and we're getting ready to go, and trying to get him out of bed was definitely a struggle.
The two, it collides with each other, because I am not a morning person, right? But for school, it is very hard to get me out of bed. But as soon as I hear we're going hunting, I'm up.
Yeah, it's definitely different now, for sure.
Well, for now.
When I was a kid growing up, I used to get in trouble because I could not sleep if we were going. I'd go into my dad's room every hour on the hour. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? And he'd eventually have to say, if you get up one more time, you're not coming in the morning.
I know the first few times you came along as a tag along, I had to make sure I had a pillow in the back of the truck and a blanket.
Yeah. I'd be sleeping even now. Yes. I'm sleeping in the passenger side, falling asleep.
So you're one of the people that enjoy the articles I write about evening bird hunts. You don't have to get up in the morning. An afternoon hunt is just as productive.
Absolutely. I love I love not being able to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but still shoot geese that same day.
Tell me about your first hunting experience. What did you get? How was it? How do you feel?
Well, it was a whitetail doe.
Yep.
It was I used my 243. It was actually a very tough day that day. We saw a bunch of deer. We shot at them a bunch of times, yet nothing, right? Nothing. At the very end, we saw this one very small doe just walk by, right? And we're sitting down, and all of a sudden I see a deer walk by, and I look at through the binoculars, and it's a white-tailed doe. So I get ready. So I get my gun ready. I'm aiming.
That's when the jitters start.
Oh, absolutely. I start. Don't get me wrong. I start to panic just slightly. Yeah, but I got my gun ready, and I was aiming, right? And it kept walking. And I was panicking, and I just pulled the trigger, right? And all of a sudden,
Wow.
you see it go down, right? But at this time, my dad didn't even have his gun ready. So if I missed it, there was no chance we were getting this deer, right? But thankfully it dropped. We waited a couple minutes, walked out, and I put my tag on it, and I gutted it, and I carried it out to the truck. It was very an eye-opening moment. Very exciting for me.
No doubt. Daryl, how did it make you feel to take your son out on his first deer hunt and see him be successful?
It was to say that it was emotional probably doesn't do it justice. Seeing the expressions and the smiles and the adrenaline that he was showing and showcasing as we're walking up to it, and his first words were that's mine. I did that. I said,
I was very excited at that moment.
It was exciting. It was an exciting moment, the one that I'll never forget. The other one is when you shot your first goose.
Right. It was at the Delta Waterfowl 101. We were on one of the evening hunts.
Thank goodness.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We saw a flock of geese come in. We start calling. They circle, come into our decoys, and so I'm there. I'm there with my shotgun ready, and my dad yells, "Get up, get him!" Right. So I stand up, and then I start aiming, pulling the trigger, and I see a bunch of birds just drop to the ground. And as soon as that happens, there's so much adrenaline running through your body, you don't know what to do, right? And
I'll tell you, having that adrenaline is great. It's better than having a dog.
oh yeah, I bolted. I raced out there to get the geese, and immediately we took a bunch of photos. It was a happy day for all of us.
Excitement.
Oh, absolutely.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
Let's back up a little bit. Tell me about Delta Waterfowl 101.
Sure. It's a great program. It's one of our major programs. Waterfowl 101 is basically an opportunity for those that may not have an opportunity to get into the outdoors. It's not just for youth. It's for first-time hunters or new hunters. And what it is, it's a full-day course where we start off by doing some quote-unquote classroom instruction. We talk about identifications, some calling, as far as like the noises they make.
Right.
Some of their flyway patterns and how the migrations work and things like that. And then we progress into decoy setups, and we do a little calling demonstration, and we get them all calling, all the participants. We surprise them with a goodie bag that has a call and a hat and various things like that in it, and they get to blow the calls and have some fun. We even go into how to ask for permission and accept the fact that you will be told no, and how to handle that. And then that's okay. And we know what to do with that information. And then we go into the afternoon where we take the participants clay shooting, and then into the evening we take them hunting. It's a free program, 100% free for the participants. We've had some great experiences with doing it. I've got some great stories of, new hunters shooting their first birds, and, me being able to relive that over and over again as these new hunters shoot their first birds. It's great. So yeah, our chapter is called the Delta Waterfowl Parkland Pintails. And so, we have a Facebook page, and I encourage anybody who wants to get in to go have a gander. You see what I did there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And, go have a gander and have a look. And, we encourage people to reach out to us and talk to us. The one story that really sinks home, but I love this story, is he was a new hunter, but he was not a youth hunter. And we got out there, and he went through the whole program and the whole day with us, and we're sitting in the blind, and I'm with two younger hunters, and the volley comes in, and I call the shot, and he gets up and he shoots, and some birds drop, and everyone's excited, and the youth hunters that were with me, they go out and they chase the birds down, and I look over to my left, and this poor guy's head's hanging low. And I put my arm and I go, "Hey, man, are you okay?" He's like, "Well, I've never killed anything before."
Oh.
and I said exactly that. I said, "Oh, well, how do you feel?" He's like, "I don't know how I feel." I said, "Well, that's okay. If you want, you and I can just sit here, and we'll let the other guy shoot for the rest of the evening, and you and I can just, talk about things, and I can answer questions or however you want." But by the end of it, he was shooting lots of birds. But it was just that experience that it's not always just instant excitement.
It's a flood of emotions.
It's a flood.
Absolutely.
It's a flood of emotions. And so being able to be part of Delta Waterfowl and Waterfowl 101 allows me to see all of that. And I'm really thankful to be part of that.
It sounds like a great program. And it's interesting how many people are getting into hunting as adults. So, it's ACA puts on the Pheasant Tabor Festival, and they have the novice pheasant hunt, which gives people an opportunity to harvest their first pheasant. Well, you think it'd be lined up with kids, but
right.
I mean, they've had grandma and grandpas come out.
Yes.
That their grandkids are also at the novice shoot, and they've had an inkling their whole life to try it and haven't, and they're there in line.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's pretty interesting to see that multi-generations and people from different parts of society are jumping in and have a keen interest. And I think more and more every year we see that people want to procure their own food, and they see the benefits of being outdoors and getting some.
Yeah, there's definitely an incline in interest.
Yes.
Within just the hunting community in general.
Well, the dad, the parent and the child wanting to start a new hobby together. I've seen that where there's the youth is 10 and the dad's, whatever age.
Yep.
And neither one of them have ever done it. And that's one of the great things about Waterfowl 101 is you don't have to have any experience. You do obviously have to have your hunter's ed, of course. Yep. But we supply your gun for the day. We supply your ammunition for the day.
Oh, wow.
Including your target loads. For
everything you might need,
everything
we have.
We say dress warm and be prepared to be outside for the day. And that's it. We provide everything for that program for you to come out and go right from start to finish. And hopefully by the end of the day, you've shot your own bird and you're off to the races.
Spectacular. See what I did there?
Yeah, spectacular.
How many different chapters are there with Delta Waterfowl in Alberta? Do you know?
In Alberta,
it's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's always new chapters popping up, which is great. We encourage it. We help each other out. The different chapters. We'll lend resources to, Smoky Lake, let's say, is trying to start a chapter, or down at Olds is trying to start a chapter. We'll lend resources to help other chapters get going.
So there could be Waterfowl 101s happening all over the province.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right? Is that, and there is a liaison that we work with Delta Waterfowl, but he's only one man, and he covers from, I think, Saskatchewan all the way out to the British Columbia coast.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a big job.
So the chapters helping each other and growing these programs is what we're all after, right?
I think it's an awesome program, and people can go to the Delta Waterfowl site, and like you said, you have social media for the Parkland Pintails. But, if you Google Alberta Delta Waterfowl, there'll probably be a lot of different ones come up in different communities. I know Lethbridge has a program, and they take out the college students with the 101 course.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
And then the programs that we run aren't just for those wanting to get into hunting. We also do a hen house program where it's the building of hen houses and putting out hen houses in various ponds and sloughs, and we spend a lot of resources and our volunteer hours building these hen houses. We built 300 of them last year. They've got great success rates, 80-90% success rates.
Wait, and that's the story there, because what people don't realize is that our waterfowl nesting in Alberta, success rates are about 8%.
Mm-hmm.
When I was still in the conservation game and looking at studies that are going on and dealing with the Delta people doing the research, nesting success is really low. Crows and ravens are really tough on birds, and then we have the mammalian predators that get them. So the hen houses, put them out over the water, give them shelter completely around them, and their success rate goes way up. So,
way up.
Hunters giving back.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Delta gives an opportunity to new hunters, but also just new people wanting to do different things in the outdoors.
Right.
I don't want to shoot guns. I don't want to hunt, but I want to contribute. Well, I got a great program for you. Come build hen houses with us.
We have something for no matter what your interest is within the outdoors. We have something for you.
Something for you.
We always have something for someone.
And Ron, you're heavily involved in the 101 course.
Yeah, I'd like to say I am. I've been a participant, and since then I have now been a member of Delta Waterfowl, and it is amazing to go from a participant and learning all about what waterfowl is to actually teaching it and helping new hunters, new waterfowlers do the same thing and see the sparkle in their eye once they find, hey, I like this,
Yeah.
It's a magical thing to see.
We were actually just really lucky. We had our big banquet dinner this past weekend where Ron was honored actually at our dinner as our youngest member of our committee at only 14. He was honored by the rest of the committee for his contributions and his passion, and we get a little presentation for him, and I almost cried. And
No, you did cry. You didn't almost cry.
we can edit that out, right?
Well, congratulations, Ron. I think it's important to share your passion.
Yes, definitely.
It's a lot of times we beam with excitement and all the pride of being able to get out there and be successful and having learned all the things we do, but to actually take it to the next step and share it with people is pretty special. And it's hard for, I'm not going to categorize you, but a younger person to understand, where it's easier for your dad because he probably is feeling the same thing taking you out.
Absolutely, Brad. Absolutely. Yeah. Ron does, he does a lot of volunteering actually, and not to keep, pumping you full of smoke or whatever that phrase is, but, just ACA. Ron's been out volunteering for the Kids Can Catch event.
Nice.
And he has said...
I try to get involved with as much as I possibly can.
He said, Dad, if there's an event that I find out that I could have been at volunteering my time, and I didn't know about it, I'm going to come and blame you.
100%.
I'll keep you on speed dial.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, there's lots of things. And, I write the news and issues column for Alberta Outdoorsman and have for 25 years. So there's lots of programs that are looking for volunteers and people with some experience. So we'll keep you in mind for lots in the future.
Yes, definitely do.
Now, Waterfowl 101. At the end of the day, do people clean birds and eat them?
Yeah, we do. So we, in the middle of the day, so in the morning before the program starts, there's a group, it changes every year, but there's a group that goes hunting, the mentors. So the mentors will go hunting and then they'll bring back birds. And then part of the day's activities is a cleaning demonstration where we take them to a certain area. They each get their own bird and they get it clean. And we teach them how, everything from just breasting or taking the thighs or even rice breast if we come across that.
We're making a roast with it. That's one of my favorites.
Doing some plucking if we get a nice bird and things like that. And then at the end of the day, if they shoot birds, and we take them out, and so the mentors get a group of new hunters and away we go. And if they have the option, do you want to take your birds with you? They don't have to. They can, whatever they want to do. we were lucky enough actually to host 2 events this last year. We did our major Waterfowl 101, and we also did another one for the university kids. One of our committee members is a biology student, and he arranged a hunt with a bunch more biology students.
Oh, wow.
And so we were able to do that. And so I did the cooking demonstration. Josh actually normally does our cooking demonstration, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I did the cooking demonstration at this one, and at the end, and they were texting their dorm roommates going, "Hey, I'm bringing back duck. We're having duck." And I asked him, I said, how are you going to cook it then? He's like, "I'm going to do it exactly what you do. I'm going to put it in a pan. I'm going to fry it. It's easy. It tastes delicious.
Just salt and pepper. That's all it takes.
That's all you did.
That's all I did." And for the cooking demonstration,
And
I
it
did
tasted
a
amazing.
cast iron pan, and I sliced it, and we did it, put it on toothpicks so they could all try it. Yeah. And I mean, when Josh does his, he's got onion moly and...
he gets pretty creative.
Josh is very creative when it comes to the kitchen. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're talking about Josh Glover. He's been on Harvest Your Own podcast twice. He's a wealth of information. He's got lots of enthusiasm, loves to share with people, and he's an avid waterfowler, but
he's
he's
very
also
excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also an avid rabbit hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely he is.
So
Definitely.
East Coast influence.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I was going to ask what the recipe is, but it's pretty easy. If all you need is some oil, salt, and pepper.
That, you know what? If you're starting out just cooking breast for the first time, and absolutely, that's all you need. A cast iron. You don't even have to. It's a frying pan and some salt and pepper and a little bit of oil, and you're going to cook something absolutely amazing with just that. And then from there, the sky's the limits with your imagination.
Nice. Just don't overcook it.
That's exactly right.
That's the one rule you really have to follow.
Because it's that rich red meat and it takes on all the iron.
Yes.
You just got to be careful with that. But you cook it exactly the same way you'd cook your steak. If you like your steak medium rare, cook your breast or your medium rare. If you like your steak well done, well, maybe you probably shouldn't do that.
You can get away with an Instant Pot or a pressure cooker.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you're going to overcook it, you have to cook it till it surrenders.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's right. Actually, this last year I did something above and what I've done in the past. Was the group that I mentored invited them to my house in January, and I did a 5-course meal for them, all goose meat.
Nice.
Started off with poppers, and then we did sliders, like a pulled goose slider.
Yep.
Then I just did a grilled breast, which I just sliced it thin and just laid it out, and they just got to taste it with no seasoning, nothing, just to try it.
Just basic.
And then we did what else? What am I missing? Oh, a faux soup. We did a faux soup with it, and then I did my favorite is just a nice grilled breast with a mushroom sauce.
Nice. And
with gnocchi on the side, and I brought them right to my home, and I said, "Here, we're going to do something amazing," and and I think I might. It was fun. I had so much fun doing that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Friends of mine in the Yukon used to have a dinner. They'd get together before sheep season, and everyone had to come with a tip or an idea or something.
Sure.
So I did that a couple of years here. Where we had friends over and talk about, getting ready for waterfowl season. Early season tips and later season and calling techniques and different. And it's just a really fun evening. And of course, the menu was all waterfowl, just like you did.
Right.
And I think it provides a little inspiration for people to get out there and get
Absolutely.
after it.
It's surprising. 100%. It's surprising how easy it is to make something taste delicious.
Think with your stomach.
That's right. And a lot of people think that, wild game is intimidating.
Right.
And then when you get past that idea, it's like I said earlier, the sky's the limits.
You could really do anything with it.
Yeah.
We usually substitute a lot of our beef recipes with goose. We've done a bunch of different things from
wild goose stroganoff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then goose jerky. Yeah. We've done that many times.
That's a staple.
Yes,
That's a staple.
Absolutely it is.
And
we can a lot of ours. Those big honkers, I'll take it and jar it and can it, and it makes a wonderful soup, or you can heat it up and make gravy or a stroganoff, and it's almost instant.
Well, that's
absolutely.
Canning meat. We can a lot of our deer.
Yeah.
It's way more versatile. You can open a can, you can put a little salt and pepper on it, eat it as a snack, put it on a sandwich.
I take a lot of it to school.
You can have that deer stew in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Right?
Quick and easy.
That's right.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information. To gain insight and knowledge, head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
Ron, like, we've diverted to the food already. You mentioned that you turn your birds into a roast. Tell us more.
Well, we usually get the slow cooker out. We throw a bunch of different vegetables, beef broth, very basic things we do. Onions, carrots, celery, beef broth.
And set it and forget it.
Yeah. And usually go out in the backyard, do some cleaning or whatever.
Wait, hold on a second. I guess I must have missed that part at the house.
Great. Well, I don't do much cleaning.
That's an early morning activity.
Yes.
That's it. And I am not a morning person.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have really embraced the waterfowl side. Where else you heading? You got some more aspirations to take on some new hunting projects?
Well, what are you doing at the end of May?
I'm going after my first bear.
Very interesting. Bears are underrated species in Alberta.
Absolutely.
You know, they haven't had the same value as they do in other parts of North America where people have to draw for them and they covet them and the meat and all the rest of it. So what do you plan to do if you get a bear?
At this moment, I really don't know.
For cooking wise, we've braised the shanks lots of times.
Yes.
We've taco meat with bear meat is absolutely amazing. We've done pepperoni, garlic sausage, stuff like that.
Yeah, Josh has really gotten into the bears. Josh Glover.
Yes,
we've
absolutely.
had him on talking about different things, and he's had some recipes on Harvest Your Own, and he definitely likes to experiment and make the most out of whatever he's got in his hand.
Well, he doesn't just cook with bear. Obviously, he'll
He makes, in a sense, a masterpiece.
Well, yes. I was going to say he waterproofs his boots.
Yeah, he makes lard. He renders down the fat,
right.
And he uses it for frying and for pastries and for cooking and for waterproofing and a whole bunch of things.
Exactly.
He's definitely a creative person, to say the least.
And, anyone can do that too, because, if you look at bears historically, they were actually used for a lot of different medicines, for pain medicine, for skin issues, for insect repellent, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The bear was pretty magical.
We're like we talked before, we're very lucky with the opportunities we have here in Alberta.
We're spoiled.
Without question, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's definitely a word that comes to mind.
Yeah, I go to lots of different jurisdictions where people might have the opportunity to hunt deer, maybe turkeys, or if they hunt waterfowl, they might also hunt squirrels, but there's not a lot of diversity. They're pretty much pigeonholed to one specific type of hunting.
It's a weird, and I don't know if weird's the word. It's an interesting thought that you have to prioritize because there's only so many days in a season. So do I want to hunt that, or do I want to hunt that, or do I want to hunt that, or do I want to hunt that?
It's a first world problem.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, it sounds like you guys are very social. Daryl, you've actually taken a second job just so you could talk hunting and fishing more.
I have. I work part-time at Cabela's. I've been doing that for years. I work there Sundays and I work Monday nights. And I started years ago with the idea that I would put a few bucks in my pocket extra, why not? And I get to talk to people about stuff I like, and I get to learn new things. Well, one of those things have happened. I've definitely learned new things, and I get to talk to people, but I haven't made a penny yet. I definitely spent my paycheck there, of course, but it's Cabela's is a fun spot to go and ask questions. It's almost like having we've got regular customers that come in that bring coffees and just want to BS, so to speak, right? It's
talk and shop,
absolutely, and it's a great place to do it. The cool things about working at Cabela's, you get to see the new things, and you get to help actually new hunters as well come in with questions.
And it's a very focused audience that's walking through the door.
Absolutely, yeah. the question of how do I get into hunting is a very common question that we get asked, and so having some knowledge and being able to direct that is one of the resources I use is the Discovery Guide.
Yes.
Right.
The Discover Guide is awesome. It's got lots of information.
Yes.
And Harvest Your Own online, people get on there and one of the first tabs you can click is how to get started.
That's right. That's what
it's so easy to find something on there that you're wondering. right? There's so many. You can search up some topic like how to butcher a deer, right? And you get a bunch of different articles on it.
Or, you could just search permission.
Right.
It'll show you what's there for permissions.
Yes, and asking permission in Alberta is a good problem to have.
Absolutely, it is.
There's a lot of areas in Canada and mostly in the U.S. where you have to pay for access.
Yeah.
And of course, that's illegal here to charge or to pay for it. So it's the old-fashioned knock on the door, ask permission.
It's either yes or no.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's accepting that no is a part of the game.
Absolutely. It's people's rights, and they have, who knows? Maybe they're saving it for themselves. They just like to watch the birds. Quite often they don't tell you, but it seems like lots of times when I don't get permission, I end up at the door for an hour and a half talking. So
yes,
it's
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to educate people and let them know that hunters are good people.
We've gone, like you say, Brad, we've gone to knock on a door, and when I'm not the first to knock on their door. They've been, and they come out and they introduce, and I introduce myself and Ron, and no thanks, that's not, and then you get visiting. Well, we've had minds changed by the end of our conversation.
Yeah,
we're like, what,
you guys aren't really that bad
hold on.
kind of guys.
You know what? I'd love for you to come in, but maybe walk in if you don't mind, or a couple of restrictions or rules. No problem, gladly. Thanks very much. And it's showing that respect, even if you get that first no or whatever that is. You got to understand how to handle that.
Absolutely, yeah. And to handle it is to talk and be polite and courteous and remember that it's their property.
That's right. We spend time on that on the Waterfowl 101 program. We spend a whole, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour answering questions. Well, what if this happens? Or what if this? Well, we'll explain.
We will gladly tell you.
Because that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah. Ron, what advice do you have for people that are thinking about getting into hunting but are still hesitant?
Whenever someone asks me, what kind of advice do you have? I always say, don't always think it's going to be successful. Don't always think it's going to be comfortable, because there will be times where you get wet and walk out with nothing. There will be times where you step in a big puddle of mud and have your heavy shoes walking through the bush.
And your boot will stay there.
Oh, 100, yeah. And you'll just walk out bare feet, right? And you'll walk out with nothing except for long-lasting memories every single time.
That's the one thing you're going to get for sure.
Yeah, no matter if you walk out with a deer or not.
Every time.
You go in there with a positive attitude, you come out with positive memories.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Even if you're missing a boot or once, or one or two.
That's all right. Somebody that works at Cabela's.
Yeah,
so that's not a big
that's
issue.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. We can get you a new pair.
That's why there's no extra cash in the pocket.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting, hunting, and fishing. I think that Waterfowl 101 program is gold. Birds are a great place to start hunters. There's lots
Absolutely.
of action. There's lots of opportunity.
And it's a very communal hunting community, right? There is a lot of friends you can make, and a lot of people that you can meet and along the way, and have that long-lasting friendship with those people, and go out hunting nearly every year with those same people and have many stories to tell.
Yes, we know a lot of people in common because they have passion and they love to share it.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And I see you're taking that on. That's where the award came from this weekend. I hope you keep that up and encourage more people to get out there, help them get through the stumbling blocks. And just to let you know, there's a lot of school boards within Alberta that actually still teach hunter ed in the school.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that. I think
Neither
that's
did
great.
I.
The rural communities, I'm guessing.
Oh, lots of them in the cities too. It's up to the school and the outdoor ed program or in the science course, but they do teach hunter ed in the schools too.
That's
I did
fantastic.
not know that.
That's great.
Yes.
Ron, maybe that's an advocate that you can, go to your schools and start.
Push
trying
it
to
forward.
We
advocate
should
for
definitely
that.
get more hunters ed in more schools.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you got a goal.
Yeah, along with Grand Slam.
Yeah.
That's another goal.
One last question. Any spring snow goose hunting on the horizon?
I would sure like to, but I've got lots going on with my day job, sadly, and then my days that I am going to be able to take are scheduled for him and the bear hunt. So,
You know what? You still have plans. That's great.
absolutely, we do.
Well, thanks for coming on Harvest Your Own. It was a great chat, and I think it's inspirational, and I'm sure that somebody listening is like, I now know how I'm going to get into hunting, and they're looking up the Delta Waterfowl site.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah, whenever I'm talking to friends at school or out in public anywhere, they always ask, well, how did you get into hunting, or what should I do? I always direct them to Waterfowl 101. Perfect place to start.
Come in and see us at Cabela's. You know, they're knowledgeable guys, and we'll point you out to the Discovery Guide, and we'll talk about AHIA and getting your hunter's ed, and we're happy to spend time with you. There's no stupid question.
No, there isn't, and that's great advice. The front door is open, people are friendly, and
Absolutely
they're willing to share. They want to share, and they want to help people that show an interest.
It's a very welcoming thing, a very welcoming community.
It is. Hunters are good people.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
You know, it's people that spend more outdoors time are happier.
Without question. Without
Absolutely.
question.
So we're looking forward to hearing some happy stories from you after the bear season. So best of luck.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
And thanks for sharing your information tonight.
Thanks very much for having us, Brad. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.